Okay, babes, walk with me, talk with me. So, I want to share something that kind of came to me as I have been really struggling with getting in a routine and staying in a routine. And it's mainly because in this season of life, I just don't have the predictability that I once had. I'm not working a 9 to 5, I'm creatively employed right now. So, every day doesn't really look the same for me as far as what I'm going to be doing throughout the day. And it's just not feasible for me to have a similar looking day or have the same day every day, which is fine for me. I like that. My brain seems to like it, so we just gonna work with it. My hormones, my body seems to like it, so we gonna roll with that. But one thing that has really been helpful for me and still sticking to a rhythm or some sort of semblance of a routine is focusing more so on, instead of focusing on a routine and this checklist of things that I need to do in the morning, to I just focus on cups. So am I filling my spiritual cup every morning? So typically I do that through reading my Bible, praying. Am I filling my physical cup every morning? Do that through walking, my economic cup. So instead of just being like, I got to make sure I'm doing these things in this order, it's am I filling my cup or cups through these time frames? So for us, sometimes, like, that routine, especially for women, sometimes we routines just might be too constraining for you. So maybe you have one to three things that you do that are non-negotiable every day, right? And that is your quote unquote routine. But really the goal is just to fill up these cups, and strategically work towards these goals that you might have for yourself, or these things that you want for yourself, in a way that makes sense for you, instead of being so focused on performing wellness, pretty much. So I have personally been guilty of that whole performing wellness thing. Um, and it's just because at one point in my life I was just more rigid. So I needed that, structure that hitting all the points. But now that I'm in a different season of life, my body doesn't seem to be responding well to that anymore anyway. It's just easier for me to say, okay, am I filling these cups? And so one good example is yesterday. So I'm in luteal phase right now. I try not to go too crazy with my workouts during this part of my cycle. So one of the things that I did yesterday is I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like working out today. But I do want to do some type of movement because I have been, like I said, turning up all month. So I was like, I do need to do some type of movement. So I have found this, it's like a 15-minute lymphatic workout on YouTube. I'm gonna go back and I'll link that below because I actually think it was really good. I think it's something great to do when you are right before your period or on your period. If you're like me and you tend to get more bloated during that time, it's like something that you can do on a rest day, or even just if you do have the time and space every morning. But anyway, so instead of being like, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything, and then I'm going to feel some kind of way about it later, I decided to do that instead. Something gentle, something easy, just something that I can move and do something good for my body. Because movement is a non-negotiable for me. Now, how that looks doesn't, again, it can look like that 15-minute lymphatic thing that I did that was very gentle, very easy, went by fast. It can even look like a 5-minute stretch. It can look like 5 minutes of foam rolling. whatever, just whatever. But the point is just that I do the movement, right? So I want us to not be so strict, not be just trying to check the boxes, and also really be in tune about what actually makes sense for you. Because it might not make sense for you to be lifting weights 5 days a week in this season. It might not make sense for you to be going for runs every single day. That might not make sense for you in this season of life. So I encourage you, spring is a great time to reevaluate your rhythms and your routines and just get a better idea of what you need. So I'm going to finish my walk. Just wanted to share those thoughts with you.